Hello and welcome to part 3 of our series on how to step into a new normal after a significant life event. This could be a crisis, this could be some sort of a move, transition, career transition, job change, baby, family, whatever, but some sort of really significant life event that has caused some upheaval, maybe some total rug pulling, or just a reevaluation of what's important and puts you into a bit of survival mode. And now you're ready to get out of the survival mode and create a new normal after that. So this is part 3, our third and final part of the series. Part 1 and 2 are already uploaded, and you can go back. We covered in part 1, we talked about assessing and prioritizing what are your values and priorities now that you've gone through this significant life event. In part 2, we talked about deciding if there are any systems, routines, or habits from before the event that still work. If so, continue those. Otherwise, in light of your new priorities and new values and kind of new season of life, choose and establish new routines and systems and habits that are in alignment with your priorities and values. This week, we're going to talk part 3, and really, it is short and sweet, honestly, but I want to highlight this. This is super important. Okay, there's 2 parts to this talk today, or there's 2 pieces, okay? Number 1, as you are stepping into a new normal, the number 1 thing to keep in the forefront of your mind is grace. Grace, 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 grace. This season needs to be marked by grace. What do I mean by that? You need to be giving yourself boatloads of grace. You just went through something crazy. Whatever that is for you, again, whether that was some sort of a loss, maybe the loss of a loved one, maybe it was something like a career transition or some sort of financial situation. Maybe you moved to a different home. Maybe it's something a little bit more exciting, like that's positive, like a baby or some sort of expansion in your family. Because even positive things or things that we normally see as positive can still cause some really significant shifting, right? So you've just been through something really significant, something that's really caused a dramatic shift in your life and how you operate. And it's going to take time for you to reestablish a normal. And like I talked about in part 1 of this series, you're never going to go back to what normal was before. This is a new normal. So you can look back with nostalgia all you want, but you are a different person now. And so you need a lot of grace. If there's things that you're trying to do that you used to do that were easy, but now they're hard, grace. Assess, is it even important in this season? Does it fit this season? Maybe it's time to let some things go. Maybe there's things going on. Maybe you need some extra support. And that connects to the next piece, which is develop or plug into a support system. Okay? These 2 things go hand in hand. You need to give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. This is not an excuse to wallow in self-pity or to sin. Okay? This isn't an excuse to excuse all sorts of nasty behavior or wallowing or things like that. No. Giving yourself grace means you are taking it slow. You're starting small. You're taking a breath and you don't go into self-beat-up mode. You go into curiosity mode. You also give grace to those around you, especially your family, your household. Those who are living in your home. Because whatever you just went through, they're going through their own version of it as well. For example, I'll just use myself as an example right now. For example, I recently lost a child. My 3rd child died at 1 month old, or 26 days old, about several months ago. Of course, I'm going through something incredibly traumatic, incredibly painful. And so I'm needing to give myself a lot of grace and know that there's going to be some days where I just can't. There's some days where I end up just sitting in the backyard and letting my living children play, or I end up sitting on the couch and not doing a lot because there's some days that are rough. That's okay. That's not every day, but there's some days. That's okay. But here's the deal. It's not an excuse either to not do anything. And it's also something, I'm not the only one who experienced a loss. My husband also lost a child. My daughter and my son lost a sister. They are grieving too. And so when my 4-year-old starts acting up, of course there's training, of course there's talking and discipling and discipline that needs to happen with behavior that is not acceptable. However, there's also taking a breath, and when maybe she's acting extra needy or whiny or clingy, taking a breath and getting curious and wondering, hey, is this maybe her walking through some grief too and needing some extra love? Again, that doesn't excuse sin. We still correct the sin, whether it's in ourselves or our children, but giving that grace to see the big picture of what's really going on here. When I'm feeling irrationally angry over something really stupid and small that really doesn't warrant that level of anger, taking a breath and pausing before I express that anger and asking myself what's really going on. I'm sad. I'm sad and I can't do anything about it, and that's coming out as anger. Take a breath, breathe, release it to the Lord, ask Him to come in and meet me where I'm at, and then re-engage with the world. Now again, we're not perfect. I get that we're not going to do this 100% of the time. I don't do it 100% of the time because I'm a human sinner. But that grace is really important, not only for me, but for my household. And same for you. If you're going, whatever you're going through, whether it's a financial stress, whether it's a health scare, whether it's a loss, whether it's just crazy life transition, grace. And doing what you can right now. What can you do? Instead of focusing on what you can't control and what is overwhelming or whatever, what can you do right now? Set your timer for 5 minutes. What can you do? So then within that, a support system. Plugging in to a group or of people or a person who will support you, who are going to love you, who are going to come around you and help you process. Whether that's working with a coach who can help you work through the mindset things and really get through those blocks, whether it's a therapist, whether it's your small group at church of people who just can love you and really practically show you love, or a combination of things. Maybe you're going to join some sort of a community, maybe a group of women, like a community where you get kind of iron sharpening iron, training and support and encouraging each other. There's lots of ways to get support, and you can also just ask for support from the people who love you. Okay? But here's the deal, is you also need to have your own back in this. And so you have grace and you plug into a support system, but you do it in such a way that you have your own back. And what I mean by that is make sure that you're investing and pouring yourself into and connecting into support systems that are actually going to empower you to do things yourself. It's so important to have relationships and let people bless us and bless other people. That's very important to have those mutual relationships. But it is also very important that we don't become dependent on other people to come in and save us from our situation. And so making sure that when we do plug into support systems and when we do engage in groups and community, that we're doing it from a place of growth and openness to, yes, be blessed and be connected and served, but also to serve and also to learn how to take care of ourselves and build ourselves up so that we're able to build those muscles back up to step into a new normal. Having some support as we do that. People who will help us develop systems and routines and accountability in stepping into what we desire to step into. So that is the next step of creating a new normal. So all of this has been kind of high level principles and ideas and systems. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is every single situation is unique. Each person, there's so many variables: person, personality, circumstance, whatever's going on. And so in this series, my goal has been to cover some kind of principles and ideas for the general flow of how to step into and creating a new normal. However, I'm fully aware that what that looks like practically applied in each individual situation is gonna vary. It's gonna. So how does this help you? Well, there's a couple different people who are gonna listen to this, and you get to decide which one you are and what you want to do. Number one, there's a person who hears all this and is like, oh, that makes total sense. I'm gonna go up. I kind of already know how to apply it. I'm gonna do it. Go do it. Yes, cheering you on. There's going to be some people who hear it and are like, okay, I get the concept, but I'm kind of not sure exactly how to apply it to my specific situation. Would really, and when you talk about support, I really want like a support group. I would love to plug into a community of women who are doing this so I can get ideas and support and encouragement and accountability and kind of figure all this out. Maybe some sort of a group dynamic where we're getting input from someone who's kind of been there, who can kind of help guide us. All right. If that's you, send me an email at Coach Amanda at amandakstout.com, because I have a community that you can plug into where we are actually diving into all of this in the coming weeks. We're going to be diving into a daily challenge where there's going to be community and accountability and how to in creating routines and priorities and systems and really stepping into creating a system and normal that works for us. Okay. And it's a group thing where you can build that community. The third person is like, okay, I get this. And I totally love the community idea, but honestly, I really want someone to come in and like laser focus, help me one-on-one really work through this and apply this practically to my life. How do I do this? How do I walk through this? I want somebody who's going to sit down with me and process with me, figuring out what my priorities are. I want someone who's going to sit and process with me what's working, what's not working, what systems do I need to implement, how do I do that, etc. on that really, really hands-on one-on-one basis. If you are that person, send me an email. Coach Amanda at amandakstout.com. I have room in my calendar to work one-on-one with a few women. I'm only taking 3 clients right now. I have room for 3 people to work one-on-one in walking through this process, holding your hand the whole way, helping you process through it, just you and me, getting all of the hands-on support and encouragement that you need to do this. So if you fit any of those categories, let me know. Reach out to me. We're going to get moving on a challenge, and it's mostly going to be a free challenge too. So email me to get hooked up with that. There's going to be a couple options. There's a free option and then there'll be a paid option. And keep an eye. I'll be sharing a little bit more information about that in the next couple days, and I will see you inside our Creating a New Normal challenge. I'll talk to you later. Bye.